welcome back, Chris.
We're back, baby.
It's 2022, and we're back in this hot seat of the podcast, and the podcast hot seat, that is. And Chris, it feels good to see you again. It's been a little bit since we've recorded. We've been out gallivanting in the holiday spirit, and I guess the first question is, how are you today, Chris? How are your energy levels?
Oh my gosh, Ethan. Happy 2022. Happy New Year to you, to everyone who's listening. I feel great. I feel great too. I don't know
There's
what
some good
it is.
energy in this room today.
It's a weird combination of, it's the new year. I'm getting back to my routine. And like you said, this is the first time that we've sat down in the podcasting seat since December the 9th. So for those listening, we pretty much banked the entire month of December in one week. We were recording episodes every single day to get that done because we were doing some traveling. We were spending some family time. And frankly, it's nice to have a break every now and then. So that's what we did, but we're back now.
It made the most sense, Chris, and it really was such a baller move by us. I mean, we got some time to sit back and relax, and you wouldn't be able to tell because we kept it. I think we kept it topical. We acted like it was the day of, so we were pretty clever out there
until now. Until we're telling them, but
how would they know? But no, Chris, I don't know, man. I was wearing my Birkenstocks this morning, no socks. It's like 25 degrees out, and it just gave me energy. I was just cold feet just gives you good energy sometimes. I know you do the same. We love wearing Birkenstocks in the cold.
I agree. And good energy can be found all around. It can be found in some coffee. It can be found in some cold Birkenstocks feet. It can be found in doing a fucking podcast. I mean, you got to look. You don't have to look very far to find these things. And we got it coming at us from all angles today.
And this is guys, this isn't even just the New Year's resolution shit. This is just us being genuinely ready to rock and roll, and we're just feeling good. I mean, this is wholesome. You know what I mean? I feel great, Chris.
Yeah, we're fucking back. Feels good.
And today's gonna be a good one. I mean, we do exactly what we're getting right back into it with the question and answers. We put up the picture of what's his name in Flight. What's the actor's
Harling
name?
Mays, John Goodman's character.
John Goodman. So we've been posting some John Goodman stuff, and dude, he's just such a good actor.
Yeah, and I have to interject real quick here. So in case the listeners don't know, although I have a feeling that they've gleaned this by now, Ethan, you and me have this habit of we find something that we think is particularly funny, and we just reference it incessantly until we kill it. And then we pretty much don't mention it again for the rest of our lives. And this has happened with many things in our lives, both personally and on the page. And this is happening with this movie Flight, which Denzel Washington was in, particularly the John Goodman scene where the banana boat arrives, and Denzel, Captain Whitaker's hurt, and he needs the banana boat. And, in a way, the podcast is the banana boat.
You think so, Chris?
I mean, I think people want it. By the end of the week, they're kind of hurting for something like this. And come Friday, this sucker comes out and gets them feeling good.
Well, I think I'm pretty positive that scene is going to make an appearance on the page, because we've done a good job of mixing in movies this past month, and it's been pretty fun. I mean, I love movies. I went to 2 movies over break, actually. I saw Spider-Man and The Kingsman, and I just love a good film. Yeah,
I ended up hitting an inadvertent Denzel Washington trio, a trifecta. Within 3 days, I watched American Gangster, I watched Flight, and then I watched Remember the Titans. So that's kind of wound my clock the last couple of weeks. And
there's a lot of good scenes you could post from those movies too.
Yeah, Grunge Bible is going to develop an arm that is movie Bible. So. That's kind of happening. I hope you guys are here for it. If you're not, I'm sorry, but we're not going to change what we're doing. Speaking of things that we're not going to change, there's one thing about this show that we're never going to change, and that is that the first topic of substance that we discuss every single week until this podcast dies is the individuals who are gracious enough to support us. So between the last time we recorded and today, it's been about a month, and in that time, Ethan, we have some new members of the club.
Oh yeah, we do. Some top tier members too.
We have 3 new top tier members that at some point through the final months of 2021 were like, you know what? This thing is important. I want to contribute. And we're very, very thankful for that. And those individuals, those 3 that have decided to join the group, they're Bubby, Millie, and Rachel Corning. So to those 3, welcome aboard. We're very happy to have you.
Welcome to the banana boat.
The banana boat is rolling out. We can't promise you that it's going to be a smooth trip all the time, but hopefully it's interesting.
Yeah, I love getting those notifications, and I always wonder what it is that took it over the top.
Yeah, what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
Sometimes we get reviews, and it's like, that last podcast I finally did it, or sometimes it's just a post, and you're like, I've been listening, but then I saw that post, and I decided that was time. So, leave a little message, a little comment of like why.
Yeah, we'd love to know why. Absolutely. Yeah. So those three. To Rachel, Bubby, and Millie, we're very happy that you were on the train with us. You're on the boat with us. And those individuals join Alexis Shannon, Fuck Soup, Jamie Lynn, Kayla Jean, our number one fan from Australia, Laura and Irene, Marianne, Shannon Gorgone, Sue, Sonny Mashburn, Victor Schaefer, Release, and Jade Mercado. Ethan, that group's becoming quite a mouthful, which is I know, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It is 100%. It's probably the most badass thing we do on this.
Yeah, we've got 16 in the group right now. That is that
puts us over 30 total for sure. I think we're like 32 total.
Yeah, I think so. Over 30 total patrons and 16 in that top group. So we're ready to start 2022 with you guys on our team, and there's nobody else that we'd rather have heading into this thing with us as we drop this first episode of the new year. So, Ethan, before we get into the question and answer sesh that we have prepped, I do need to get your opinion on something.
All right, shoot. Let's hear it.
So, it's the beginning of the year, 2022. It's a clean slate. And with this clean slate, a lot of people are sitting there and they're thinking of things they might want to do a little differently with their lives, and they might resolve to make some changes in their lives. And, I need to hear what your thoughts are on New Year's resolutions.
Yes. I'm wondering if I'm just setting up for a screen rant by Chris Salona here when I finally kick it back to you.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah, once I kick it back to you, but I'll bite. I'll take a swing. New Year's resolutions. What do I say? I'm gonna zag on this one and say I don't hate them. I think that it's a great time to kind of reset. I mean, the problem is people do this stuff all throughout the year, and then they don't hold themselves accountable for a lot of things. So it's just a bigger one to do it. But you know what? I do love it. I love the idea of people setting up boundaries, or setting up maybe accountability partners, or workout partners, and all this stuff to kind of set up goals. I think that kind of that introspective and reflective aspect of life is really important. So, if you can get thinking about some certain things in your life, it's great. As far as it comes to me, we're back into the flood, Chris. Same old trip it was back then. I'm not changing a damn thing.
No, fucking right. No, I'm not changing anything either.
What about you though, Chris? Where do you where do you land on the barometer?
You asked, Ethan. And I have to say, my entire life that I've been cognizant of New Year's resolutions, I have fucking hated them.
Right.
I thought they're bullshit. I don't understand why some arbitrary line in the sand is all of a sudden going to make this big difference. But you know what? I don't know if it's because I'm in a good mood today, or if there's been some sort of seismic shift in my brain and how I approach things. But to be completely honest with you, I don't hate them either anymore, because I realize New Year's resolutions, if I don't use them, they're not about me. It's not up to me to like or dislike them. And I know that there's people out there that look towards January 1st and a new year as a hopeful thing, and as a good opportunity, as a good line in the sand to change things. So, if you asked me a year ago, I would have hated them. I would have been slandering them right now. But honestly, if they work for you, and if you enjoy them, if you appreciate them, if you find value in them, I want you to use them. And I'm really happy that they exist for you, because everybody has that something that can help them become better in whatever way that they're hoping. And for some people, it might be this. So you might as well use it if it helps.
Wow. That's very touching, Chris.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that from me.
No, I wasn't expecting. Do you think that it stems from, our last episode was obviously a year and a review and a recap, and kind of going over some stuff we're thankful for and the growth. Do you think have you been thinking about, say, growth more often this year, that maybe it's one of those things where you're like, setting goals and sticking to them. Like, are you more cognizant about it this year than last, that you're like, it makes so much, because I was thinking about that when I was listening back to our podcast. I was like, having goals and accomplishing them, it makes you appreciate discipline more, and it makes you appreciate like what you're doing. And I think, looking at, if you didn't hear, this is our 43rd podcast. I love that joke. In case you haven't heard.
We've never told you that before.
Yeah, you don't know this, but do you think you're maybe a little bit more reflective this year than in the past, and that's why you're kind of like really onto it, or what?
Yeah, I think the change for me is that I don't know. I guess I've just become more aware that there are more than one paths to a good destination. So for me, like I've valued my consistency and my discipline, and I've taken a lot of time throughout my life through various activities and choices to try to develop those qualities, So just because I might have them more so than somebody else, or I'm able to call on them when I need them, doesn't mean that other people who are looking for them have to get them through the same avenues that I acquired them through. So I think that's my big shift in thinking that, just because I've always thought that New Year's resolutions and different things like that were bullshit, and that you should just be able to do stuff on your own. Like some people, like it's helpful. So you know what? I'm taking my judgment out of that game, and I just whichever path people see progression through, I think is something that should be celebrated. So if January 1st came and you're hopping back into the gym, or you're trying to eat right, you're trying to quit smoking or something like that, if that's the dedication or encouragement that you need, it's awesome. I'm glad that it exists, because it's going to help you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think a little exercise I want to do is let's make a New Year's resolution for music at the end of it. So when we do Song of the Week, we'll do like, what's our New Year's resolution for listening to music or consuming music. We won't do like our personal weightlifting and all those goals.
No, nobody gives a shit about that stuff.
That's on our other podcast. But
exactly,
there's a lot of good stuff. Just like listening to more Fish or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited for that exercise.
We'll do that at the end. So think about it throughout. We'll just think about it when they're in the spot. But
that'll be percolating, Ethan.
All right, shall we get into some question and answering?
We shall, and I have a very important note about this Q&A session. So as we do, we conduct them through Instagram. We solicit questions through Instagram, and in the time between now and our most recent recording of an episode, which was on December 9th, we have a new follower on Grunge Bible, and that is none other than Daniel Johns, formerly of Silverchair. And I was just reminded of that because he viewed our story asking for Q&A submissions, and unfortunately this time he did not submit a question, but we're trying to reel him in. I think I would love to have him on the show at some point.
Let's message him.
He has a show of his own. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll message him right after this. We'll shoot him. We'll shoot him a DM. We'll just say, hey, man.
So very quickly, without getting too far into it, the genesis of this exchange of followings was that I had posted a really, really stupid meme with Daniel Johns' face and then a Maroon 5 lyric attributing it to Kurt Cobain. And he commented on it and said, "One of my best lyrics with a heart." And it was absolutely hysterical when he did that, just being a good sport about it. And I replied and, sent him much love or whatever. And he replied again. And then he followed us. So the relationship, the kindling is there. We've got the materials to make fire here.
Yeah, you could say there's something to that little exchange. I mean, that's how true love is formed. So exactly. I don't know. Maybe he'll be a steady guest for us one day, or maybe he'll just be friends with us. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
We've had a few people comment. We had Wes from Puddle of Mud comment, correct, Mr. Puddle?
Yes, we had him. We had Fred Durst comment.
Of course.
Douglas Robb from Hoobastank has commented before. Yep. Matt Cameron has liked a bunch of posts, so has Ben Shepard. So, well,
that was enjoyable.
That was very enjoyable. You never know. You never know who's at that doorstep. So the time is coming. But Ethan, people have questions for us in the new year.
Yes, I do. And we have answers. We don't have, maybe not the right answers, but we have answers.
Maybe not the answers you're looking for, but we do have the answers. And if I could pick the opening question, I would be very happy to do so. And I think it's one of the ones that are certainly one of the most important ones that we were asked today. And that is, what is your favorite Layne Staley hairstyle?
Oh yeah, this is a great opener, especially with the new year. People are going to want to have a new change, maybe cut their hair, change their name. So I was,
life for fortune and fame.
I actually looked up, and I'm sure we'll post a picture. There's a great timeline of all of Layne's hairstyles throughout the years, and I think my favorite hair by him has to be the 91 when he had the dreads, and it was like a lot longer, but it was like dreads, and it was the young Staley, and it was just, just fun, just crazy. I mean, long hair, when people have long hair, it's more fun. It's, there's a lot more
about when you see someone with long hair.
You know what they're into, what drugs they use, but it's just such a great, commitment, to grow your hair out like that. So, and I love the dreads. I do think that I think his short hair and his unplugged, his unplugged hair, like when he has shorter, he looks pretty, probably the best that way. Like everybody looks a little bit better with short hair.
Yeah, and we can say that as being alums of the men having long hair department. Your hair was incredibly long, and mine was down to my shoulders at one point as well. Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you there. The dreadlock Layne gets my stamp of approval, and if I had to pick a runner-up, I would pick the hairstyle that he had during the Mad Season era at the Live at the Moore concert. It looked like he had like he was tight on the sides and he had the long hair going over the back, which is funny because that was in 1995, I believe, and that hairstyle is still quite popular. You see men with that hairstyle, currently. So Layne Staley, trailblazer, singer, songwriter, human, artist, and definitely dreadlock Layne would be my selection.
That's a great selection too. I mean, or that's a great addition with the slick back hair. I do like that one too with the sunglasses, look.
Yep.
I got another question that I thought was great and had me thinking a little bit because I was doing a little brainstorming. But
totally,
if you could create a band with anybody from the big five, they said the big five bands, so I'm assuming Stone Temple Pilots and then the big four.
What about Scott?
Who would be in your band? And they said you get a drummer, bassist, guitarist, and frontman. So 4-piece band because I was thinking about so you need to narrow it down to 4. And there's a lot that goes into this. I was kind of thinking about it because you have, there's people that can do multiple things. You want to keep them. You might want to put them at different areas to include them. So, did you have a time to think about it? If you didn't, I can go first. But have you thought about this?
I did have some time. I'm interested to hear your thoughts first because when I first saw this, I read the question incorrectly, and I thought I had dominion over the entirety of the early '90s grunge scene. So some of my selections are apparently not applicable to this exercise.
And that's a total different one. That would be a lot of fun to look over. So, but I was looking, and it was tough because you only get one front man.
That's right?
And there's a lot of good people up front. So, and then you only get one bassist, one drummer. So I decided to go with. We'll start with the drums. So I decided to go with Dave Abruzzese on the drums.
Of course,
I love it. I love his style. It's no surprise. I was really close to picking Dave Grohl for the drummer though, but I didn't. And and there's a reason why. It's because I put Dave on the bass, and I know that
Can
Dave
play
does
bass guitar.
Dude, of course, Dave Grohl can play bass guitar. He has a few. He recorded the whole first album for the Foo Fighters. He played every part. And he's done a few different things where he plays every part too. He has that one, like a 25-minute song called Play, and he plays all the parts. So he's musically talented at everything. He's just not known for it with his time in Nirvana. But but I want him in the band because he can sing. So he'd be on the bass. So no disrespect to, Chris and Ben Shepherd and all of them, but I'm putting Dave Grohl on the bass because maybe he'll pop back and play. Maybe he'll have 2 drummers at times. I don't know. I don't know what the band is going to be.
They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. So we got Dave and Dave taking care of the rhythm section, and then for my guitarist, it was a tough one, and I went with Jerry Cantrell. Obviously, for his ability to sing, his ability to make awesome riffs. A little bit.
You're gonna get him in there. I see what you're doing.
Had to. So Jerry can do it all, and I think that he would be. I don't know. He'd be a lot of fun to throw with. And like I said, Dave can do it all. So I think that's super versatile. And then for frontman, this is tough. And I kind of went against the idea that, more, well, I went with Chris Cornell because, but I'm not going to give him a guitar. I'm just going to let him focus on singing. Actually, he'll have a guitar, of course,
everyone's
if
gonna
it
have
needs
a guitar,
it. But
it's fine.
yeah, everyone's going to have a guitar, but like, he's going to really focus on just lighting up the crowd every night and just be an amazing singer. So I'm going Dave, Jerry, and Chris for my 4-piece. And the band's name is probably going to be called Cement Stomp or something like that. Like Frog Stomp, but cement, and I don't know. Or Pavement. Pavement's already a band.
I like that a lot. And it's really interesting because if you take those lineup of the musicians, and if you were to put a different lead vocalist in there, it changes the entire dynamic of it. Because I think, if you put, a Cornell fronted band versus if you had Scott Weiland in there, for example, And
it's tough because everybody has their sound. As much as people play covers and can, like everybody, a Chris Cornell led band and him singing covers is like you at the end of the day you got Chris. It's Chris Cornell's like stamp. It's his voice. Or you got Eddie Vedder's like it's his voice. It's so unique. So frontman is very important for this.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, you're up.
All right. Well, this is going to be difficult, and I'm fearful that I am unknowingly going to just put together one of the bands that already existed.
Yes, exactly.
Like I'm thinking of it right now. I'm like, oh shit! Like I kind of can't do that because that would basically just be Mad Season. But fuck it, I'm going ahead anyways. For guitar, this is really hard because it's between Kim and Mike McCready.
Yes. Yes.
I think I'm giving the nod to Kim.
Mm-hmm. I totally understand
I just
why.
absolutely love Kim Thile. I'm really into his music currently, and it kills me to not have Mike McCready in this band. Like it really tears me up inside. For the drums, I'm going to select Eric Kretz from the Stone Temple Pilots for no other reason than you didn't select anyone from STP, and I don't think I'm going to after this point. So Eric Kretz is gonna join Kim on the stage there. Then on the bass guitar, it's a close battle between Jeff Ament and Chris Novoselic, but I think for his songwriting prowess, Jeff is gonna get the nod. So we've got Jeff, we have Eric Kretz, and we have Kim Thile, and that only leads the individual leading this band. And because
you already said it wasn't going to be an STP, so
it's not going to be Scott. Nope, it's not going to be Scott. So it's going to be Stone Gosser. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go.
Let Stone sing.
Could
Originally,
be Dave
what
Grohl.
I'd wanted to do, I read the question incorrectly.
Could be Jerry.
I was going to pick Donita Sparks from L7 to lead this band.
That'd be
But
badass.
apparently I'm not allowed to do that. I just thought, she's kick-ass, and that would have been a lot of fun. So you already picked Chris. This is really difficult because this changes the band. I think I'm going to pick Eddie Vedder. I think I'm going to pick
no
him.
one better than Eddie Vedder.
It was going to be between him or Layne Staley.
Right.
But I'm deciding to pick Ed because Ed could play some rhythm guitar if he has to, because everyone's going to get a guitar apparently. So who knows?
Everyone
Maybe
gets a microphone,
I'll give Eric
everyone gets
Kretz
a
a guitar
guitar
and he can swing it around and play with do whatever he needs to do. But that'd be my band. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with it. I think if they were to have a name, it would be something silly like Plumbers Union or something.
That's good.
I think that would be pretty quality. But yeah, so Plumbers Union versus Cement Stomp in the battle of the bands.
That's pretty awesome. So do you think that your band would be like pretty heavy then?
You have very, very different songwriters in that band. I mean, between Kim and Jeff, and even Ed as he's grown as a songwriter. If I could pick, I would want Kim to be the commanding officer of the songwriting.
Nice.
But I mean, who knows? Once you get those four in the room, maybe Eric Kretz is going to do all of it.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
It would be. Yeah, I was wondering if you possibly put Kurt as the lead singer, because having Kurt lead the band it's I would love to. It's hard to see him make others like another.
I was thinking
genre.
of having Kurt as my guitarist, believe it or not.
That'd be cool too.
That'd be
really cool. To have him play a different part than the lead would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
that was a good one.
That is
fun.
pretty good. So I have another good question to follow up with, completely unrelated but equally as important. We had someone ask, when is the Big Lebowski episode coming? Am I the only one who gives a fuck about the rules? And no, you are not, because this is a league game. This determines who gets into the next round robin.
I was gonna follow up with the same another set of questions because, I mean, the rug really tied the room together, did it not? I mean,
The rug,
Donnie, please,
Donnie, come on. I mean,
we had multiple people come in with questions from the Big Lebowski,
which is
and
huge.
it's
You love to see it.
This is huge. I love how we're marrying the two, Grunge Bible and the Big Lebowski, as our flagship movie. And you're right, we haven't done a podcast about it yet. I think we're just saving it.
We've been dangling that carrot in front of everyone for quite a long time.
And you know why, Chris? Because once we do it, then what are people going to stick around for? They already got the coup de grace. Like
the only thing that keeps them coming back.
Yeah, people are waiting for that Big Lebowski episode. Yeah, so maybe. What we should do, maybe we'll drop it when's the anniversary? Do we know?
I believe it's sometime in August. It came out, I think, in August of 98.
So we got a lot. I mean, that's a lot of time then. Yeah, we wanted to wait till then.
We have 8 months. So to answer the collective questions about the Big Lebowski, it is on the way. It's honestly one of the episode ideas that's in the hopper that I'm most excited about. So that it's going to be coming, but it's going to be like a 4-hour long episode. So.
We might just rewatch the movie and talk about it the whole just go scene by scene.
Have you ever seen the drinking game related to the Big Lebowski? There's 2 of them.
100%.
There's one
Haven't we done it?
There's one where you drink every time someone drops an F-bomb because there's like 285 of them in the movie or something. The other one is you have to do every substance that
everything
the dude does.
Which means that halfway through the movie, you have to roofie yourself.
You do have to roofie yourself. That is true because Jackie Treehorn was treating objects like women, man. So that one is definitely coming. It has to.
Drinking game?
No. I don't want to do that game. I'll do the first. I'll do the one where you drink every time they drop an F-bomb. I will not do the. Certainly not on a podcast.
Well, Chris, side note, and just to interrupt, we're seeing each other this week.
We're actually seeing each other this week.
We're getting together, so we're recording this early in the week, and we're actually going to get together tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night already. We're going to see each other in New York. We're getting together we're meeting up with one of our guests. So we had Eric Lederman has invited us to the show, and we're going to go and hang out. And Chris, maybe we need to do like an Instagram live. Hopefully, we'll do something together.
Yeah, we'll have some time. Maybe tomorrow night or Wednesday morning before the taping. But that'll be coming, and hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we will have connected with everybody through that venue. But
so maybe
I'm excited to see you.
Maybe we watch the Big Lebowski tomorrow.
Maybe we do. That would be.
we can if we want.
We can do whatever we want. It's great.
If I want to watch a movie, I'm going to watch a movie.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. What's the next one?
Yeah, let's move on here. Here's a good question as it relates to us. Where would you be if you did not have a grunge Instagram and podcast?
Oh yeah, I did see that one. I don't know, Chris. It's actually it's a more relevant question than I think a surface level, because if we didn't have this, that means that we'd have a lot more time over the years to do something else. So I'm assuming that there would be. I'd probably would, I don't know, have better sleep or something, or I don't know. You'd probably have
friends.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that
I'd make more
there
money.
Would be something. Yeah, I would be farther along in my career. I don't know. Where do you think you would be?
I don't know, because I know myself better than to assume that all the time that I've spent on Grunge Bible I would have spent in a productive fashion. I don't think that's true. I also don't think I would be working the full-time job right now that I'm working. So
that's interesting.
My social media experiences, I think, were helpful in me not only getting my current job working in media, but also kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I do think that we would still have remained close friends. I don't think that was a variable at that point. But I don't know. It's a good question. This page is fun.
Could have affected our friendship. I mean, not in a negative way, but maybe we wouldn't be as
friends.
close.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd be closer. Maybe I'd have a girlfriend at the time. No.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we would be successful in that realm. I don't know. It's interesting. Who's to say?
I wouldn't have it any other way, though, right?
No, this is fun. I would have
fun.
less followers on Instagram, and as we know, that is the most important thing. So,
Yeah.
We
haven't ever really. I mean, neither of us are above 2,500, which is pretty funny.
No, we're still fairly
keep
grassroots.
We're underground still, which is cool. God, I like this question. What is your second favorite AIC song? So this implies that one, either they don't want to know our top song, or they assume that it's Wood. I'm assuming that they just assume that it's Wood.
The crazy thing for me, Wood isn't even in my top 5. I don't think.
No way.
I don't think it is. I don't
not.
love the song, to be honest with you. Like, I really don't. So my second favorite, Wood is not number 1. I don't really know what number 1 would be, so I'm just gonna spitball and say that my second favorite Alice in Chains song is Don't Follow. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fuck should I know?
I know. I was gonna say it's probably not Rooster. Probably not Wood.
Maybe I Stay Away.
Yeah, I do like that one. Might be my favorite song.
Maybe
though.
Frogs.
Nutshell.
Is it Sunshine? I've always liked Sunshine. That's a good one.
I think I've been on record saying Nutshell might be my favorite.
Yeah,
that's the
funny thing. Like, we did an episode, I think, where we ranked our top. I have no idea what my order was.
I know. It changes so much. Yeah,
changes with the wind, man.
It's so funny though when people ask you like, "What is your favorite?" And if you're not like thinking about it directly, you're just like, all of them. It's hard to say when you're put on the spot.
Well, I
feel like it is.
Yeah, and like I don't know what everybody.
Angry Chair.
Right. Who knows?
What mood am I in?
Killer is Me. No excuses. I mean, come on, got me wrong. Yeah. I mean, come on, that's got to be in the. So the funny thing, like, I have to wonder, because I don't spend any time contemplating what my favorite songs are from these bands. So is that something that people do? Do people sit down and they're like, wow, I really need to think of what my favorite Pearl Jam song is and go out and defend it on the internet? I just don't know. Like, I've never really spent a whole lot of time doing that. So that's why it's so hard for me to choose when we're asked these questions or when we're giving these lists, because it's honestly difficult for me to compile these lists because I don't really put much value into or stock into, figuring out what my favorite ones are. I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm probably going to listen to it most. So I don't know what my most listened to AIC song is. Depends on my mood, like you said.
And I love that. I love that it's hard to pick too. I mean, I think that's a good.
I mean, that's a
great sign. That's a great sign of a good band is when it's impossible to tell which is your favorite album. And it goes in waves, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a one hit job.
Which is
totally fine. Yes, go ahead.
So this song I feel like is definitely right up your alley, because I know you've watched extensively the Ledbetter performances over the years, and they do vary a lot. And the question was, what year was Eddie's worst Ledbetter performance? So. Is there one that sticks out to you that you can remember watching and being like...
Let me consult my intricate logging of all of Eddie Vedder's Yellow Ledbetter performances here. And
he's got a book.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I'm definitely preferential to some of the older ones. A lot of them from the 2000s, I think, were super cool. So I don't know. I'm assuming that his worst one is probably like, I don't know, from like a 2013 concert in Hartford, Connecticut or something. I think he just totally mailed it in.
You heard it here first.
He was already a bottle and a half of wine deep, and he just wanted to get out of there. And Mike just gave us a stock performance. I don't know what the worst one is. Some of my favorite ones, one of my favorites is from 2003 at a show in State College, Pennsylvania. And at the time, the United States was in the Iraq War. And one of the light techs was in the National Guard, and they got called up and they got deployed. And this was like the week after this person got deployed, and they changed the lyrics and made it relate to, the military, and and it was something to the effect of like, as long as he's not coming home in a box or a bag. They sent him off to fight for the flag, and they were just talking about, the challenges of that, and, not to get too deep, but just the deception that, governments will deploy to, get people to go off to war and things like that. And I've always found that to be a particularly good good performance of Ledbetter. But as for the worst, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Unless anyone out there has a horror story of Ledbetter where something catastrophic happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know why. I want to know why they asked that question.
Yeah, the rationale behind that question eludes me. But a lot of things elude me, so that's not really that.
Maybe they have one in mind. Maybe there's something we don't know out there, which is entirely possible.
Which we need to know.
True.
I'm gonna write an expose on Yellow Ledbetter.
Well, now I'm interested.
Yeah, you've got my attention and my curiosity. This next question is important, and some could say that it's foundational to this show. Somebody asked the question, "What is your theme song? Is it royalty-free music? It's so good. Even the original was good."
Even the original.
What does the original sometimes suck and then, and then it gets better? Usually it's the other way around. The original is the best and everything goes bad after that.
It's true. I guess I actually didn't even realize. So we've had 2 intro songs. So kudos to the person asking. That
long-time listener, because we got rid of the first one like 10 episodes in or 20 episodes in.
Yeah. I think Drew. Okay, so yeah, cat's out of the bag. Our producer, Drew McFadden, he's awesome. Shout out to you, Drew, or fuck you. We say both. They mean the same thing. And he actually is a very talented producer, as you know, but he also makes music, and he made both of the intros for us. So, they're not by any big band. They're just by our guy Drew, and yeah, he did a great job, and he made 2 great ones, and I think he's going to make another one. He was threatening to. A few times, keep it spicy, but we've loved both of them. We've actually really loved our second one. It works really well. So that's just our buddy Drew, and I told him we got to do something with it so people can listen to it like the full version.
Yeah, make a full version, absolutely, because apparently the ears are out there. This next
royalty free.
Yeah, not for long. He needs some fucking royalties from that because it's good music.
We all do. We all need some royalties.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any, but
you never know. You never know.
You never know. That's true. Maybe 2 weeks from now we'll be getting royalties or
something's gonna happen. Someone's gonna sponsor us.
Something's got to happen.
Something's in the way.
It's hopefully going to be Rainier Beer. But we're free agents. If someone wants to swoop in,
guys, if you guys want us to talk about something for you, we're ready to sell out.
Dude, you pay me an amount of money, and I'm willing to say whatever you want.
Honestly, dude, if someone would just sponsor like a drink for me to hold up and have like a free drink every time I did this podcast, I'd do it.
And whatever that company's rival is, I'll slander.
And guys, this is your chance. We're gonna, we'll slander.
I'm a mercenary.
Guys, we're gonna take off here in 2022. Get on early. It's like Bitcoin back in back when it was super cheap. If you want to be a sponsor, it's going to pay off in the long run. So we're ready.
Exactly. We're going to go to the moon like Dogecoin.
To the moon.
That's and exactly.
Grunge Bible.
Hopefully without the plummet afterwards. But
hey, man, I'm okay with the plummet after because at least we peaked. Not everybody peaks.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a good question here. I think it's a fairly common question asked of music fans. But Ethan Shalloway, if you could only listen to one band for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Yeah, I saw that question. This is how do I want to say it? This is like a trick question because
this is totally a trick question.
Like I almost believe it or not, like I pick something that I don't know a lot about. Like I almost just want to pick the Grateful Dead because I'll never run out of music. Now, are they my favorite band at the time? No, but I know that I'll have literally days of music and years of music to kind of sift through. So
that is true.
So, what band do I want to listen to the rest of my life? No band really, but I'm going to go left field and I'm going to say the Grateful Dead. I'm going to say that, yeah, and that's simply because there's just so much music in there, and I do. It is a feel good music for me. I do listen to it and just I'm generally pretty happy, at least for a little bit. So I'd imagine that my admiration for them would grow a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Grateful Dead. I don't really know, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but I guess it's pretty random. Chris, what do you think?
Oh man, I honestly don't have the depth of mental acuity to kind of give a legitimate or nuanced answer to this, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to pick a band that I know nothing about and that as of right now I don't really think that I like very much. Give me the Germs for the rest of my life.
There you
Just
go.
lay it on me. I don't know
awesome.
why, but
That was
it.
Wait, was Pat Smear in that?
Pat
Or
Smear
Dave-
was.
Yeah,
And
Pat Smear.
I don't know if
Dave
you know
Grohl?
this. Pat
No,
Smear
Dave Grohl was in Scream.
and Pat Smear was in Nirvana.
Oh, I almost put him in. I almost put him in my band when I was making it. I was like,
Absolutely.
bring him in.
I want him doing everything.
I love how Pat Smear shows up. Like,
Dude, he's awesome.
you know,
He's fucking awesome.
He is awesome. He's so good, dude. I was just hanging out with some friends on New Year's, Andy Engelman and the Endies, and we were talking about music, of course, and talking about the Foo Fighters, and because one of his sons at a young age, you know, his first time listening to the Foo Fighters, and that's all he wants to listen to.
Wow.
He just loves them because because that's how, when you first learn about these bands, the first time listening to the Foo Fighters, there's so much good music from them.
Well, and the cool thing is when you first get into something, like you don't understand the rhetoric around it, or you don't understand that like it might not be cool, because like there's a prevailing opinion now that's gaining steam, I think, that like, oh, the Foo Fighters are dad rock and they're boring, and you know, why are you listening to them? But honestly, like, I don't know, when you're at an age before you're aware of that stuff, I mean, you listen to whatever you want to. That's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. And it came up though. So the guitarist in Foo Fighters, Chris Shiflett, he was. We were talking about like the origin of the band and how he got, Dave got Taylor to be a part of it, and I guess Chris was talking to his manager, and I guess he had an open invitation to be the guitarist with to join Guns N' Roses.
No kidding.
He was like,
and
he was like,
ship.
well, he knew not to get on. He was like, no, please don't. He's like, but I know he's like, but the Foo Fighters are looking for guitarists. He's like, please get me an interview with them. I want to join Dave Grohl. So he was like, thanks for the offer, but no, I don't want to join Guns N' Roses. Can you get me in with the Foo Fighters? And I was like, yeah. So I love that.
Well, Ethan, let me ask you, if you had to go to work every day with Axl Rose or Dave Grohl, who are you picking?
No question, Dave Grohl. No question. And Taylor, dude. I mean, yeah, those guys are just, those guys are, it's all we have right now as far as in the rock world, the kind of, I don't know.
Not for long until Plumbers Union takes the stage.
Yeah,
that's it, man.
Plumbers Union.
I have another question. I actually don't know this about you, but the prereq to this question, were you a video game guy growing up?
I was. Of course, I played video games. Growing up, I had the N64, had the PS1. I don't think I had the PS2. Switched over to Xbox and Halo, but my gaming ended with Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3 on the Xbox 360. So I played a lot of those two.
Totally.
And then once me and my brothers, we got to the Gold Cross 55 and Call of Duty, and we were pretty good. We were not like super great, but it was right when, in my eyes, I feel like gaming was at its sweet spot when we were in high school.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Call of Duty 4.
It's all a wasteland now.
But then like a ton of games came out, and I couldn't keep up, and I didn't buy the new systems. And then I just stopped. I stopped cold turkey. I didn't take it to college. I didn't play any games in college like kids did. Like that stuff didn't interest me. So it pretty much stopped right out of high school. It was done. We had the Xbox stayed at the house, and I left, and I didn't want to buy a new one or keep up with all the games and shit. So now I love a good game, of course, but I have not played in a long time. So
yeah.
How about you? Were you probably? Yeah, I'm gonna guess you're similar.
Yeah, I was a gamer. I was a child. I forget how old, but for Christmas, my brother and I got a PlayStation 2. So it must have been, I don't know, 2003 or 2004 or something. So we had that, and then we went from that, and then we got the Xbox 360 a couple of years after it came out. And similarly to you, like I used to play a fair amount. But then my Xbox, I was a senior in high school, and mine, it died. It got the, what was it?
Red Ring of Death.
Red Ring. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got that, and then that was pretty much it for me, and I didn't own another one until very recently. But yeah, it was, for probably 7 or 8 years, I just, if somebody had one and they were having like a tournament on a Saturday afternoon in college, I'd hop in or whatever. I wasn't very good, but now I have I think a PS4. Yeah, because the new one's the 5. Yeah, I don't have the 5. Right. I have the 4, and I'll play. I only play usually if I'm playing like with my brother or something. I haven't touched it probably.
And I will say I do like the online aspect of playing with old friends. I mean,
it's a good social aspect,
It is a really good way to stay in touch. I know there's, really close friends. Yeah, they just all play together, and it's a good way to stay talking. So, if you're not in like a fantasy football league or other stuff to keep people close from distance,
totally,
it's pretty viable. So no knock on the gamers.
No,
out there,
exactly.
For sure.
I think if that's what you enjoy, super cool for you. So, anyways, this question, which by the way was asked by our patron Brian Castillo Fajardo. So thank you, Bryant.
Cheers.
He wants to know: are there any video games that you want to see come back? From the past.
Again, this is a tough question, and in the sense that when you say come back, like go back to the heyday. Like if I could go back to the heyday of a game, Call of Duty 4 heyday was like great. I don't know what it's like right now but I feel like I always appreciated games that had a clear cut ending to like the story mode and stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of expansions and people just keep adding levels like Clash of Clans. We used to play that.
Oh man, I accidentally opened that the other day on my phone. I gazed over my old village.
Yep, collected the gold and the elixir. I'm glad you still have it.
I did collect it, yes.
Bought a few new walls. Like that one, I really loved the heyday of Clash of Clans, but then they just kept adding, I always wanted to get to the end, but they kept adding new stuff so you could keep playing. Or like remember Angry Birds?
I do remember
how Angry Birds was so much fun getting to the end, but now there's there's probably millions of levels for Angry Birds.
Coming back.
Yeah, you can't beat it. So I was bring back the heyday. I definitely love Super Smash Brothers Melee and Call of Duty 4. Played a lot of those, and even Halo 3. Those games were great. This guy, he said Paper Mario and the 1,000 Year Door X. So I'm not sure what that is, but Paper Mario it goes back even. I guess that's probably a GameCube game, but
right.
I don't know what game would you bring back?
There's two that come to mind. Number one is the first game I ever got, and it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. And we got the PlayStation 2, and I think we got that, and we got a baseball game for Christmas, and I would like to go back and experience that again. Not because I think it was an overly amazing game, but just because of the experiences I had made it into in my head to be a great game. I just remember, Saturdays and snow days, playing with my brother, 1v1, and we used to you lead a lap, I lead a lap until I chicken shitted him at the end to try to win or whatever, and just had a lot of fun with that. The other one,
that's awesome.
Is I don't know, either
that makes me think of two games, but go ahead.
Yeah. Either, I guess, Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty Black Ops, just because of the social element. So this was before we had driver's licenses, and my friends lived all over the state because I went to a private school. So, we used to play together, 4, 5, 6 of us or whatever, and go and do that, sometimes on the weekends because we didn't have social lives back then. So I guess I would pick one of those games.
Since you brought up Need for Speed, I played a lot of Burnout. Did you really Burnout 2?
Oh yeah, I'm vaguely familiar with it. Yes,
where they had there was different styles, and one was called Rampage, or where I think it was called Rampage, where you just go and you try to create the most destruction you can. So you'd crash your car on purpose, and you have to hit certain things, and you just as a young kid, and so Burnout, and also Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 2. Because
that has a GOAT soundtrack, doesn't it?
Yep, and so does Burnout. They both had. I actually learned a lot of my music interest, and back in the day when it wasn't so no Spotify, no necessarily the streaming services. Soundtracks were huge, and the NFL 2K games or the Madden games, those soundtracks.
Madden 04 and MVP Baseball 2005. I still go back and I listen to those playlists of the soundtracks. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and Tony Hawk, great. I think Dave Mirra BMX had a really good one too.
Yeah,
I like listening to. And Burnout had an awesome soundtrack, just super high intense. So
totally.
Those two games for the soundtrack aspects were excellent.
Yeah, that's great. Those are some wholesome questions. It's been a little while since we've done a Q&A, and the listeners and the followers did not disappoint. I mean, they never do. But we're starting 2022 off on a particularly strong note. So if
I think there's
yeah,
I was gonna say there's one more question that'll take us right into our next segment. But someone said, are there any songs that you want to start off 2022 and give some recommendations? So I think that goes great into our song of the week. So we can talk about songs for 2022, song picks to start the year.
Yeah,
I know,
that's perfect.
So do you have a song of the week, or do you have a song that you're taking into 2022 pretty excited about?
As a matter of fact, I do have a song of the week. It's funny that you mentioned that. It's almost as if we've done 42 of these, and all 42
Weird, huh?
end with a song that is curated by us. But yes, my song of the week, I believe it was released as a single on Christmas Eve, and it is by an artist named Danielle Durack, and she released an album in January of 2021 called No Place, which was fantastic. It was one of my favorite albums of the year, and she released on Christmas Eve a cover of ABBA's Dancing Queen. And this is important because I fucking hate that song. I can't stand it. I think it's a terrible song. I don't like ABBA. I don't like that type of music. But Danielle's version, I wasn't aware that song could make me feel sad and broken. And her version does both of those things to me, and it is awesome. I have that problem where I really like music that hurts me, and right. This one was just I don't know. It was sobering, contemplative, and just jarring on the best of levels. So that's my song of the week, which that's important because it's my first one of the year. But it is going to be the cover of Dancing Queen by Danielle Durack.
That's awesome. I love a good cover, and I'm excited to go listen to that.
Yeah, she really made it her own and presented it in a way that I didn't think it could be presented in, which is always super cool and really impressive when people can do that, because that's a song that I think most people know. So like that takes some gall to go in and be like, yeah, like that song, I'm covering that. You know, that's like if somebody were to make a good cover of September by Earth, Wind and Fire or something. You know, 'cause it's just universally known. It's not an easy thing to do. And she did it.
She did it. I'm excited to go listen to that. It's on the list now. It's on the playlist. I guess for let's see what I've been listening to recently. I've been listening to a lot of since I spent some time in Finland.
Yep.
And I've been listening to a lot of music with a lot of Russian music and different languages, and it's really interesting when you listen to music that you don't understand the lyrics, because it's like just another sound. It's not really, lyrics and like vocals they sound good, but if you don't understand the words, it's like another like instrument in a way.
Totally.
So there's like a whole new realm, and I was talking to one of the Finnish guys, and basically they listen to they have a whole different lineup of music that they listen to because they they understand it and stuff. So I'm not going to use one of those songs as my song of the week, but I have been listening to a lot of that recently. But I have also been listening to a lot of like just how do I say, like house music and kind of deep tracks, or deep like music instrumental tracks. And the song that I'm gonna go with is, I sent it to you, but it's called You've Changed, I've Changed by San Holo, and it's just,
I like this one.
It's just a really big song, and it's like it has solid, a little, not a ton of lyrics, but just enough that it's just like you've changed, I've changed, and it's kind of cool. And it has that, like, the song kind of, it's like it's its own lyrics. The instrumental is its own lyrics. You know what I mean? It tells a story by just kind of the builds and stuff. So I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna put it on the list.
I like that. It's
really solid.
I remember when you shared it with me, and I listened, and I liked it enough that I listened to it like 6 or 7 times just in a row. And you just described it perfectly. It is a big song, and it does kind of build and everything like that. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Makes sense.
You're
we have
welcome,
similar
Ethan.
interests. Yeah, I do love. Some people hate when other people use their story to post a song that they're listening to.
Yeah.
But I love it. I like putting it on there. I like when people do it because like I said, I like when you do it. So then I listen to it.
I love it. I love
you listen to a few of my.
I've discovered a lot of good music that way. So if you're out there, keep posting that stuff. Everyone says people who say they don't care are shitheads. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
because we.
And you've done that a few times where I'll post it and you like swipe up and you're like, great song, and I'm like, thanks for noticing. I was like, yeah, I'm like, that's why I put it on.
Handshake meme activated.
Exactly. So I think that it's very important to keep posting your songs on your stories for the few people that click it because it's fun. I mean, that's why the rap. That's why the rap, like you said, the rap.
None of it, this. If we're not having fun, we're not having anything.
That's why music rocks,
Exactly. Music fucking rocks. I just realized something came to mind that I would be remiss if I did not mention it today here on this podcast. And it was some big news that came during the month of December as it relates to podcasting. You can now rate podcasts on Spotify.
You called it, Chris.
Yeah,
you called it.
It's fucking.
You told them.
It's huge news. They listened to me. I messaged Mr. Spotify and I said, Mr. William B. Spotify, please. Please let people do this. You got to see what the rating is. So they listened. Mr. Spotify responded and said, yes, Chris, this way, people can rate your podcast. It
makes so much sense. Thank you for
Yeah, it was great. So we had a good back and forth there. And needless to say, if you go on, I don't think it's on desktop yet, but if you listen via your mobile device, if you go to the homepage of the podcast, right up at the top, there will be a starred value. And we currently have 31 ratings on Spotify already, and we carry a 5-star rating. So go ahead. If you click on that, you can tap however many stars, 1 to 5, that you would like to give us. If you listen to us and if you listen to a lot of episodes, we would really appreciate a 5-star rating. But be honest, if we're doing 3-star work, 2-star work, please let us know. That's super great. So we're really happy that Spotify has decided to listen to us and us alone. I'm sure nobody else wanted that. So everyone can thank us for that development. So go ahead and do that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please go ahead, subscribe there as well. Leave a review if you feel like we're reviewable, which I hope after 43 episodes, in case you haven't heard, I hope we are reviewable and that you have some things to say about what you like and what you don't like. And same goes for YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe and comment, and that keeps the big wheel turning round.
Yep. Share and subscribe. I mean, that helps get the Grunge Bubble podcast out in the world, helps people find it. And we're all about that. We're all about sharing what we think is a decent podcast.
Absolutely.
Because it is. I mean,
I think it's decent. I think it's more decent. I've had,
like you said, it's a shitty cup of coffee
but it's pretty good. So I had somebody
you keep coming back.
I had somebody this past week who I'm friends with in real life, who I've never had a conversation with about Grunge Bible or the Grunge Bible podcast. They came up to me and they said, "Hey, I listened to your podcast. It's pretty good." Which was great because I don't know how they found out about it, but they did. Pretty good is good. I like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the fact that they had they took the time to say it. That's always that means that it was good. No matter what they say. If someone, because I always think that, like, I mean, if I take the time to go tell somebody in person, I mean, that's a big step.
Yeah.
Or at least it's important to them a little bit. So
yeah, absolutely. So before we close up shop, as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, do we have any music New Year's resolutions there, Mr. Shalloway?
Yes, thank you for circling back. The New Year's resolution for me for music is going to be, I think it's time, dude. I need to get myself. I don't have a record player. I haven't had a record player all this time. I know you have one, and everybody that I talked to, I've stayed away.
Fire it up, good buddy.
I've stayed away for so long because I know that once you have it, you gotta start buying records, and you gotta you have cases of records because you want everything for you need that certain record for that certain moment, and when it comes up, you need to have it. So, but I think it's time. I finally get myself a record player, and I kind of dive into the vinyl side of things. And I think it's a little bit, it's just an easy way to show support for bands, rather than just listening to the stuff and give me something to hold on to. So yeah, I'm late to the game. I know it's a lot of people would expect me to have it by this time, but you know what? It's okay. Everybody comes around in their own time. So I'm getting a record player, Chris.
There's no better time. There's no better time than now.
How about you, Chris? Any New Year's resolutions for listening to music?
I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of listening to music right now.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Not to compliment myself too much, but I think I'm doing well. I should probably listen to my records more. I don't often do it just because it's easy to just stream. I would like to support artists better financially. I'm in the best spot relative to the last few years to be able to do that. I think that's important. So that's something I would like to do. If I find a record that I really like, I would like to purchase it directly from them, if possible, and try to make habit out of that. Otherwise, I would like to. It's hard to put a number on it because I don't know what the year holds. But I think we should, during 2022, we need to interview at least 10 musicians. We have, and we have
That'll
52.
happen.
We have 52 weeks this year. It's got to be at least 10. So we got to get that rolling. Maybe 12, one a month, maybe more than that. Who knows? Maybe 50. But I think that's something that we have to do. But those are kind of the focus areas for me, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's our due diligence. That's why we have this podcast. That's where it's coming. That's where it's going to help out those bands.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Everything's exciting. 2022 has. It's looking up. Got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to be there with you. I'm excited to be amongst all of the listeners, and we'll keep this rolling. And for everyone who spent the last hour with us, thanks a bunch. Happy New Year. I hope that this year brings everything that you're hoping it does directly to you. And we're going to try to continue to be a part of your lives if you're so kind enough to let us in.
Amen to that. Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure as always, and we look forward to seeing you guys next Friday for another episode of the podcast. Rock and roll, Chris.
Rock and roll, everyone. Stay heavy. Take care.
Epic. Awesome. This is the good one. Take one.
I just need to, I'm trying to I want to turn off my auto lock on my phone so I can just have the questions up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fuck it. I am ready. The first episode of 2022. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome back. Shit, I was going to say motherfuckers. Well, I'm in the studio, so I actually don't want to curse like that loud.
I haven't cursed for 22 years.
Welcome back, Chris.
We're back,
It's 2020.